Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Valentine's weekend for Bald and Bonkers. If this is where you decided to bring your date because you're a cheap ass motherfucker, you need to just don't, man. Come on.
Well, some people are into that kind of thing. Some people are into this kind of thing. Like we were talking before the show about like SMN and bondage,
Yeah,
that
no,
kind of stuff, gags and
you were
whips
talking
and
about wanting to
chains.
get
And
into a gimp suit. I'm just saying, man, you don't have the right body type. One,
can I just
two,
say
that
something to
leather
you?
shit. You
Talcum
get
powder,
sweaty. No, here's the thing: if you get
talcum
sweaty,
powder.
that shit is gonna start shrinking on you.
No,
That's
no, no,
all.
no, 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 no. I've actually got a friend out there, and he was a deep sea salvage operator. And I actually asked him, I said, "How did you get into the kind of rubber suits and stuff like that?" And he says, "Talcum powder." He uses a lot of talcum powder, and that's how you slide them on.
Still, if it goes, you go to sweating those things, you're gonna
Can you
be
imagine in
shrinking.
the desert? Can you imagine in the Arizona desert wearing one of them?
Considering a lot of people I know go to Arizona to get over their addictions, because it's so
Well, it's
fucking.
that place to go. It's that place to go, innit? I mean, yeah, I mean,
Seriously, I know a lot of people who've actually been able to get over their issues with alcohol and drugs by going to Arizona.
is it
Hey, they
because
turned their
it's
life around, so good on them.
where did they go to the what is it, the Las Vegas clinic? What?
Vegas is in Nevada.
Is it? Is Vegas in Nevada? I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
just thought it was not. I
Las
just thought that was
Vegas,
part of
Nevada,
it.
where the
I'll be
prostitution is
fine. It's all
legal.
the same. It's all the same. Look, I've got
Seriously,
a migraine
a
tonight,
bunch of
ladies and
women
gentlemen.
actually go
I've
to
got a
they
migraine.
take pole
I've got,
dancing classes here in Idaho, then drive down into Nevada for the summer, do
is
their
that what you're
sex
into?
work.
The pole dancing,
Hey, that shit's
paranormal
actually
pole
kind of fun.
dancing. If,
It's actually kind of
I'll
fun.
tell you
Don't
something
knock
to
it
do.
till you try
I
it,
don't know
man.
about everybody. The Pete. I don't know about Pete. Pete, where are you, Mike the Naked Bigfoot son? He's into paranormal pole dancing. Pete, get ready for this.
I know. Being that I know we're probably not going to be expecting a lot of Americans in the show this weekend because of the Super Bowl and the rumored engagement of Taylor Swift. Oh my God!
Oh,
But
what about your president? He might be resigning soon. And you'll be getting the first, what is it, lady African American president.
yeah, here's the thing. When it comes to Biden, I think a lot of people should be concerned that he is flat out trying to gaslight everybody, saying from now until November, people are going to know that Donald Trump and his Republican supporters are the ones that have destroyed border security.
Look, I'm going to say this. Again, this is the show tonight about paranormal sex and stuff like that. But there's something seriously wrong with your president. I mean, I watched an interview the other night there where he said he was talking to the French president that died 30 years ago.
I know, man.
Was it
Ever
no de
since he
Gaulle?
got
I think it was
into
de Gaulle,
fucking,
actually.
ever since he got into office, I'm starting to wonder. He's showing all the signs that he had a stroke or something, man.
I just don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know.
So, paranormal sex. How do you want to take this? Do you want to take this to do you want to take this to your how you the alien abduction side at first, or do you want to go into
No,
like
no,
the
no.
ghost and stuff like that?
Well,
Oh,
well,
Emerald Isles, hello. Keep it clean.
Oh! Thank you, Jenny. I imagine that's Jenny running the account. That just reminded me of something.
What?
We forgot to announce the winner of the sweepstakes.
We get a sweepstake.
Yeah, we were running a sweepstakes. For
You
any
were
of our people that signed up to our YouTube membership, we were running a sweepstakes, and you would get a special prize if your name got picked. And the special prize has something to do with last week's episode.
Oh, God.
And Lulu, you win the replica of the Godzilla penis you've been always wanting.
Jenny, contact Louise and tell her to contact Dakota. It will be coming in the post soon. We'll have to hire a small 18-wheeler, but it should be there soon. Large.
It's about a 1/6 model. It was like this big. My God. Poor girl.
terrible. But you put me off the start there. I was going to say something about paranormal. So what do you want to get into first, ladies and gentlemen? Do you want to go down the rabbit hole of the aliens? Or do you
Well,
want to go down the rabbit hole of the
there's a lot of
spiritual
different
encounters?
places. There's a lot of different places to go, and you know,
Mind that case.
in memory of our dear friend,
Oh God,
Mike the Naked Bigfoot. You know, Mike made a very valid point. I was watching his little video, "Sex and the Paranormal." Yeah, he makes a very good point. Shockingly, this is not a topic that gets covered, and it's happens. There's reports of it happening in just about every aspect of paranormal. You got ghosts, you got demons, you got Bigfoot humping people, you have aliens.
Yeah, actually, Bigfoot humping people. I've never heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Does Bigfoot take people and have his way with them?
There's actually been reports. I believe no. There's actually one dude who's alive, and when you look at his skeleton structure, just the way his skull looks, you kind of have to wonder. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but I believe it was like a Russian wrestler. And the story, and he's a big dude. He's like over 7 foot tall, right? And apparently his grandma would always say that the reason why he was so tall is because one of his grandmothers was actually kidnapped by a strange giant and impregnated. And if you actually look at this guy's skull, from what I could tell, he hasn't had any major surgeries, no brain surgery, nothing like that. His skull looks like a gorilla's.
Ding, 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 ding. Sorry.
His skull literally looks like a gorilla. So yes, there are allegations, and let's face it, there's been reports that suggest that several sexually transmitted diseases have come from the fact that people were trying to have sex with monkeys.
Mm-hmm. Just saying, Jenny, I've just noticed you're in the wrong chat. You're in the Bald Bonkers archives. Could you come across to the main Bald Bonkers channel? I was going to moderate you. See, I'm trying to look. Why have you got so many bloody, what do you call it, channels here, Dakota?
What are you talking about?
I've clicked on it here and I'm trying to find the one that we're live on tonight. There we go.
Well, that's the whole point of behind our motherfucker. That's the whole part of our design, to put out to so many different channels, so it's hard for them to get rid of us. That was the plan from the beginning.
We've got one here. There's Jenny. She's been modded in the chat. She'll be able to keep away the bad people, if we get any.
So I don't know, but again, going back to what you say, I don't know where to start, because I figured that's why we could probably make a whole weekend out of this.
See, there's actually that interesting case. We're talking about a paranormal case here. Jenny, you'll like this. This is your kind of thing. There's actually this big stately home. Remember we talked about this? And it was about the curious case of the masturbating monkey. Now I said that.
Dude, that was episode 1. That was episode 1.
The Eloise. But remember the case that we talked about. Emerald Isles Paranormal needs to investigate the curious case of the masturbating monkey.
Oh God, poor Louise.
What do you think, girls?
I just noticed she's in the chat.
But Louise, you've won a prize. You've won a prize. Dakota's getting it for you. It's got the truck will deliver it through the week.
Yeah, your prize for being our latest member, is coming in the post. So be on the lookout.
Yes, it's.
You might need to rewind the show a little bit so you know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure Jenny will fill you in though. I bet she's messaging Jenny. What are they talking about? What are the two idiots talking about? But no, there's actually what stately home is. What stately home is that? The curious case of the masturbating monkey.
Chris, we've done almost 300 episodes, man. You expect me to remember that?
I mean, that's a place for you guys to Emerald Isles Paranormal. You guys need to get in there. You guys need to investigate, and you need to give us the proof that we need. The curious case of the masturbating monkey. See, it's not hard to say. Can you imagine that? Getting your EMF meter out there and your
Dorset.
ghost
It was
box
in
out there, you can
Dorset.
hear the strange noises. Dorset. He's
Oh,
looking
God.
it up, Jenny. He's looking it up as we speak. Where is it?
Hold on. I worked with feeding a masturbating bear at a zoo in yeah.
You worked
No, but the monkey's
feeding
dead.
Well,
This
obviously it's a
monkey's supposed
ghost.
to be dead.
It's a ghost. It's a ghost of a monkey.
It's the ghost chimp.
It's a ghost chimp that clangs onto your leg, and then it does the unsightly deed as you're clanging onto its leg. That's just for you, Louise.
Oh, God,
I can see Jenny the New. I can see Jenny the New. They're doing the Estes method. I can't pronounce it right. The person's up the stairs in the room where the monkey is, and Jenny's doing the stairs, and he says, "Go to him and touch him. Go to him and touch him." Like that, and all of a sudden there'll be a strange noises coming from below.
I feel like I should probably post this warning right now.
This should probably go without saying, Marco.
But viewer discretion highly advised, and you might want to make sure the kids don't hear this show. Yes, very bad monkey. Oh,
look,
God.
some people
that wasn't
that
the
kind
type
of thing.
of sex in the paranormal that I was talking
about.
But
that's still sex, isn't it? But that is still sex. It's a monkey that clings onto you and then does the unsightly
spectral bestiality type of shit. Are you looking up, Chris?
Oh, well, but that's a case that we talked about at the start. I mentioned that to Mike, and he just grinned when I tell him that. So
God. Dude, it's just God. I was like, you're bringing that up. That was episode 1.
I bet you Mike the Naked Bigfoot would have wanted his bones.
Dear Lord. That's already went off the rails.
No, but anyway, let's leave the curious case of the masturbating monkey to after. Pete, where are you? Jenny's probably rolling about and laughing.
Oh, God.
Right, let's go to I was going to leave the succubus and the incubus to Sunday night because I was actually going to ask Jenny to join us tomorrow night to talk about the incubus and the succubus. You know,
does she have experience with it?
I don't know. Actually, Jenny, have you ever had a experience with an incubus and succubus?
Here's the thing, though. You know, remember it was a couple episodes back. You were actually asking if there's actually been a documented case of someone having sex with a ghost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you I knew of at least one case that came to mind. It came fairly popular. He's very well known in both UFO and ghost hunting circles. Dan Aykroyd.
Mm-hmm.
And that I told you that I knew that there was probably some basis for the blowjob scene in the first Ghostbusters movie.
I did not know that. Yeah. I will keep the answer for tomorrow night. Well, Jenny's going tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a treat for everybody. Jenny will be joining us to talk about the incubus and the succubus.
Yes.
Tomorrow night. And
Dan
believe
Aykroyd, in an interview with Esquire magazine back in 2013, admitted that he used to cuddle with a male ghost.
Everybody's done it.
Now his family actually comes from a ghost hunting background, and his family's
dad was a spiritualist.
A lot of experimentation. Yeah, his family was big into spiritualism, but apparently he would also have one of his experience was that he had somebody crawl into bed with him, and his first thought was, you know what, I'm gonna roll over and cuddle with it.
Why not?
And he figures that it was a man.
How did he know it was a man?
That's a very good question.
I mean, if it was a ghost and you couldn't feel it really, right? How did you know it was a man? Unless you could see it as.
Again, but that also
was the sheets. Did it have a sheet on it? And then
but here's the question. Like I said,
I just had a vision there.
He based the first Ghostbusters script off of a lot of the stuff his family was doing, right? Is that how he knows that it's a male?
Each to their own. If you're into that kind of thing, we go do that. But here's a question: you see how ghosts are portrayed with like a sheet over them. Maybe that's how he knew.
I want to know how. I know that's probably the only depiction they can think of that would capture the ethereal look, the free floating look. But how the fuck is like somebody look at a sheet and go, "That's a ghost"?
Now here's an interesting thing. They say this place is haunted, and I have to mention it for the men out there. I'm sorry if women. Is the Playboy Mansion? They say that place is meant to be one of the most haunted places in Hollywood. Is the Playboy Mansion?
Several of the girls have actually come forward saying that they've had experiences.
So it makes you wonder: is old Hugh still floating about in his red silk dressing gown? And his,
maybe Playboy has been shut down for a while now.
Is it shut down now?
Yeah.
There you go, Dakota. There you go. If you save up your pennies, you can become the next Hugh Hefner.
Dude, the fucking Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition is going out, man. That's.
I didn't care that place was shut down. I kind of was dead, but
yeah, they shut it down officially shortly. I mean, they still have like Playboy as far as making the magazines.
Oh, there's Marco in the chat there. I had a woman's spirit come in and merge with me. She could touch me without being physical. Totally weird. I'm sorry, I don't know where that voice came from. I'm being possessed by somebody. There you go.
I don't know.
Just ignore me the night. I've went mad.
God,
my beard. It's my new beard look.
Wow. Yeah, you think that beard actually does you any favors?
What I allowed? Oh, it's Marco's.
There's more.
I allowed it here to through. No, allowed her to go. Was that through or allowed her through or go through or through?
Christopher, I believe that you may need to see a psychologist about your erotomania.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
No, your erotomania.
What's that? Is that like some weird kind of fetish you've got or something like that?
No, it's the psychological condition that is the false belief that someone is deeply or obsessively in love with you.
See, look at that. Look at that, Marco. Thank you very much. And may I say, Marco, that you've got a beard in your picture today, and welcome to the club, the Beard Club. It's a kind of cool beard because he can't grow one. He's not in puberty yet.
Is that all? You have to come up with that.
Where is that? Go and show us your beard. Go on. Go on. You know. Where's that? It's kind of cool. But see, that's what I mean. You need to join the club. You need to join the club. What are you doing? You're changing my name. What are you up to? Dakota! Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, we have lost Dakota tonight. He's gone. What the hell's going on here, guys? Can anybody see Dakota, guys, or is he froze for you? Where is he went? He's disappeared. My beard is much longer than my pitch. See, that's the thing about this. This is maybe what 4. It'll be back the new. It says internet. It does this sometimes. My beard's probably about, I don't know. How long is it now, Jenny? How long have I had this now? Is it what, 4 weeks? 4 weeks I've had this. I think Dakota's been abducted by aliens, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. They're getting the probes ready. Paranormal. Tonight, you know. Where is he, ladies and gentlemen? Let me go and check to see if he's still among the land of the living. I'm just going to check really quickly. I bet you his internet died. Excuse a sec. There you go. That message. See, we've been having problems on this streaming network for a while. People just like disappearing. It'll come back in and I'll disappear really quickly, but then we'll come back on again. And it's been happening quite. Look, Jenny tried to join me. Was it last Friday, Jenny? What happened?
Bit of a bump, it seems.
That's weird. That's weird, that, because I was just telling them all about this happens quite low.
Yeah,
That's
I think there's
so.
a short in the cable somewhere.
What is it? Is it the internet connection? What is that? Ethernet cable?
No, fairly certain there's a short in the cable somewhere, and if it gets bumped wrong,
Oh, see, I've got that with my light. If I hit the stool underneath the chair, it flickers. It's tough now, guys. It's like it's not made the same as it used to be made. It's cheap Chinese stuff, innit? I mean, it's nothing's made as long as last. So you were saying,
about what?
what were we talking about? I was saying about the beards, and then you were going to say something, and then you just disappeared.
Yeah,
See, I'm going, so other paranormal, strange other paranormal things. Come on, Dakota. Give you some alien stuff. It's something you don't really hear about much is the alien stuff. And I don't that much know about it much.
Mm.
He's gone again. He's gone again. this is getting ridiculous now. Come on. I bet he's getting annoyed now. He's just jumping up and down as we speak. He'll be back soon, guys. It's just this happens sometimes, you know. But I can't really go on without him because he's my co-host, and I don't want to go into like a subject that he want to talk about. So let's read the chat and now see who's all here anyway. So are you still here, Jenny? You still here, Louise? Marco? He's all been ready for the old investigations, guys. Anything at all? You know? But see that case about the monkey. Honestly, that it's I'm going to mention right. I'm going to mention a ghost hunting TV show that was rubbish, right? You remember in Most Haunted? They went there. Oh, he's coming back in. I thought I was talking about the monkey again. I don't know what happened to you there. It disappeared again.
My House is Haunted actually did a show on that.
Did you dare? No, it was Most Haunted. They
Yeah,
were
it
talking
wouldn't
about
surprise me.
it was Most Haunted, and they were talking about and Derek Cora get possessed, and he started to kid when he was the monkey. And he was jumping around everybody. Remember it? Do you know? Remember that episode? Nini's remember that episode. Louise, does Nini's remember that episode, Jenny? And he started jumping around about, and he said it was the spirit of the monkey, and he started getting up to folk and all that kind of stuff. But he never done really anything, you know.
Yeah, that's what the fucking TV producers would want them to do.
Aye, but you got to remember, Most Haunted was like totally, absolutely shit.
Most of them are.
Aye, most of them are. I mean, there's a very few there that's well real. I mean, there's Ghost Hunters guys in the chat. Check out Emerald Isles Paranormal. They've got good stuff. But there's folk. Look, there's folk that just cheat with everything and all that kind of stuff.
Hey,
See, that's what?
Yeah, no, yeah. I know. I was gonna say this is a topic that especially goes out of whack because obviously nobody can take the situation seriously. But you see a lot of people try to imitate that they are being sexually assaulted by a spirit online, and they even fake up security camera footage to try to prove it. And I'm just like, there could be some serious issues here. I've dealt with a couple of cases where people have speculated that they've been sexually assaulted by some sort kind of spirit. One actually drew blood.
Go and tell us about that, Winger. You like to talk about that? I thought mentioning names.
It was a case out of Pittsburgh, if I remember correctly. This was actually a house that Ed and Lorraine Warren cataloged.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there was this family, young girls, early teens at the time, if I remember correctly. They believed that the house. They actually. Let me backtrace a little bit. They traced back the house that they were in at the time, and they found that there was a child murderer who lived there, who particularly liked young girls. And this girl, she would start freaking out because, now I'm going to preface this by saying she didn't have any pets. There wasn't, she claims there was no one in the bed with her. I even asked if maybe there was a part of the bed where she had a spring loose and it was poking through the sheets, old mattress. She swears, no, we checked all that. But there would be scratch marks, like someone was running their finger towards her intimate bits. Now, this case apparently actually had some UFO activity. Now, being that it was out in Pittsburgh and I don't have the funding I would like to have in order to go check out these spots in person, I had to do a lot of in-distance remote stuff with it. But there was also a UFO incident at this particular house, interestingly enough, where the tops of the trees were burnt by a possible craft.
See, that's interesting. That. So did she maybe have the false dream of a spirit doing that to her, which in really fact it was the extraterrestrials that planted that false memory, a spirit doing it to her, when in actual fact they were doing experiments on her?
It was there was a legitimate spirit. It could very well be that the whole history behind it, like I said, it's hard to tell, having not been able to physically go out and check it out in person, but this was a case where my protection sigil got implemented and the activity stopped.
See, that's interesting. That. See,
but they do know that there was a spirit, there was a child murderer that was involved with that house. Then the woman got a little extra concerned because this was shortly after the allegations that Ed Warren had a 17-year-old side piece.
I heard about that. I did hear about that.
Yeah.
See, that staying on the kind of part before we go into alien stuff, staying on the, what's that famous it's a bar in America. It's famous for like gunfights, but it was a saloon, but it also was a brothel. It was a brothel up the stairs, and they say that when men go in, they get all touched up and stuff like that. You can't. That's Tombstone, isn't it? That's Tombstone.
I think that's Tombstone.
Yeah, it was the season with Ghost Adventures went, but we know what they're like. They're a wee bit fake.
Yeah.
But there was other ghost hunters that have went there, and things have happened to them. They've been like touched up and that, as if they're getting welcomed in, and it doesn't happen to the women. It doesn't happen to the women whatsoever. It only happens to the men. I find that interesting. That it makes you wonder, why would the spirits like hanging about? You know, do you think they're just there? They're
Who knows that they can leave?
There?
How maybe do they know they can leave?
Maybe they're under the impression that they're still working there. Maybe there's a ghost there that's keeping them all there.
Yeah, there's a lot of incidents where, working girls are some of the first targets of serial killers, even to this day. Let's put it like that. And there's some men we've run into a couple times that would probably be like this. You think that just because they paid for it, they could pay for whatever they want out of it.
Yeah.
So you got to admit, there would be a lot of traumatic memories that would bind those girls there.
Well, you think some of them are murdered. Some of them were murdered because violent gunslingers and stuff like that murdered them. And some of them, maybe it's like the stone tape theory. Maybe they're stuck in a loop, right? And they don't think they're dead. And then some of them have maybe crossed and then they've come back and then they like it there. They maybe like being there. But then some of them might be there to try and help the others that are trapped there cross. If you really think about it.
Maybe. It's one of those things that you would have to see from going in and see for yourself.
Who knows? I mean, Tombstone's an interesting location. It's not just that. There is a lot of like brothels around the world that's had that problem, like with spirits.
For a lot of the same reasons.
Oh God, there's one just popped in my head now there. If anybody in the chat can help me, what's that one where they attack the customers? And I think it's the men. Am I thinking is it in Arizona? Oh Jesus.
Probably.
I can't remember. It was famous for gold. Is it Silver City, or is it the Silver City mines? I think it's
Sounds
running
rare.
about there. It'll come to me, right? But
Which Silver City are you talking about, though?
America, the big one.
There's more than one.
There's more than one. The main
There's
one.
more than one Silver.
The one today with the biggest one. The one today with the Okamoan.
Which one was that? It was like there's a Silver City here in
The
Idaho.
first one, the first ever one in the Midwest.
Midwest. God, I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, it's famous. It's famous, but not just that. It was a mining today with silver.
Yeah, and the town I grew up in was an old mining town.
Well, I'll come to me, but it was famous for the brothels being haunted, and there was some of them the men were all right, but there's been some of them where women investigators have went in, and the women have been attacked because the spirits think that they are taking their custom.
Yeah. New working girls, they always get jealous.
Yeah. Amarillo, Texas. I think that's maybe. I think that's the one.
That sounds about a little bit more accurate.
Aye, I think that's that. I don't know my geography of the United States. I'm sorry about that, but
yeah, no, I just had to tell him that Las Vegas was not in Arizona.
I was thought it was. That's what it was part of. There you go. You learn something new every day. You know,
Lewis, how the hell are you?
Lewis, the knowledge within. He's a man. He's a paranormal person. He's into this kind of stuff. You ever been visited in the night, Lewis, by a strange, unknown ghost doing things to you?
Did you know there's actually a psychological condition that they have this?
No, what's it called? Ghosted or something?
They call it incubus syndrome.
Incubus syndrome. I'm going to get into the doctor.
It's a legit psychological condition.
That's that. I'm going to the chemist on Monday and I'm going to say, listen, I've got a problem. I've got incubus syndrome. Have you any ointment?
Oh, God, you're going to be like that. Fuck, what was her name? That Amanda chick that married the 300-year-old ghost. Pirate ghost. What is it with the fucking Irish chicks?
Jenny and Louise have went all quiet. They've just went all quiet. They're not speaking in the chat. They know. I think they're just like buckled. They're rolling about the flare, laughing hilariously. You know, they're probably thinking about what you've been talking about. The masturbate. They're probably researching the curious case of the masturbating monkey.
I'm not the one that started rubbing that monkey. You are.
Well, look. I didn't help it. Was that the knowledge was? How's that WD-40 been? Hey, I'll tell you something now. WD-40's got many uses, and we should do a show on that, actually. You know?
A show on WD-40.
I think we should try and get the creator.
What?
No, there's Louise there. Nothing wrong with us, Irish women. Thank you. The wrath of Louise. Just coming for you. It's Jenny you need to watch. You piss Jenny off, you'll kind of about it. A big horn will come out your wall and grab you and start strangling.
Didn't you say she knew that Amethyst Rain that said she gave up sex with men for ghosts?
Who?
The Amethyst Realm, Jenny.
Amethyst Realm?
Yeah, that's the name she goes by.
Jenny. No, that's no Jenny.
No, did you say Jenny knows it?
No, Jenny
knows. We were talking about it last weekend.
All right, Jenny. Louise, that person that you know in Ireland that's, what do you call it, married a ghost.
Oh, that's Amanda that apparently she's a Jack Sparrow impersonator. I was reading up on some cases to try to prepare for the show. As usual, somebody's got to derail it.
There's the man himself. Obviously, there's Louise. From Droghead. I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. I get out now for that. But there's the son of the naked Bigfoot. Just got into the house. What's that? Just got into the house from the greenhouse to catch this. Yes, Pete, don't you worry. Would you do naughty things in that greenhouse? Hot and steamy. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
We've been waiting for you, man. I need to. There you go. You're a moderator in the chat now, man. But come on. We're waiting, and I was hoping that you would come on the show, Pete, because I bet you could tell us some strange and unusual stories about sex and the paranormal. I mean, let's take Mike the Naked Bigfoot, that his dad. You look at the show that he did, Sex and the Paranormal, the first kind of show, right, where he talked about the voodoo and the hoodoo work, right? And his dad went. I had a conversation with your dad one night, and this is an interesting case, right? See how, like, if you drop down dead, your spirit could, like, cling to, like, a doll, or could cling to. I don't mean that. Well, maybe that you could. Maybe, I don't know, but see, you could cling to, like, maybe something in a house, right? What happens if you died in a sex shop? I mean, the thought is out there. I mean, think about it.
There's rumors.
I mean, think about it. Now, this for you, Louise and Jenny. Think about this in this sense, right? Imagine you just need there you go, Ann Summers, and you're going, would you go out do an investigation in the shop? But
I know a madam that can get me into a couple brothels.
You probably got a back door. But
no, you sick fuck. No.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put it that way. Well, if you're into that kind of thing, it's look, he's blushing now. That. No, but look, no, you think about it. And Lewis, imagine you're an old man, right? You're in your mid-90s, right? And you think, oh, a sex shop. I could get in there and spice up my love life with my 97-year-old wife. You know, so I'll go in there, right? She'll get in there and start getting damaged. He'll get in there, right? And he's walking around about the aisles, the whips, the chains, and and all the gadgets.
Do
and
you realize how many old men have died like that, though?
But this is the point I'm trying to say, right? And he gets to like the inflatable doll section, and then across from it is the dildo section, right? And he goes, "Oh my god," and dies, right? So, what happens if his spirit bonds this for you, Pete? Bonds with one of those objects? Is that object haunted?
Depends. Did any of his DNA get on it?
But your DNA doesn't go into something to, like, bond to it. Because you look at Annabelle the doll, obviously Annabelle the doll and stuff.
Well, dolls have a long history in several cultures of actually being created for a spirit to be able to possess. In Japan, I believe it's called the hitogame.
Yeah.
Where you can take, like, a piece of paper, write someone's name on it, and you can actually perform a little ceremony and have that little piece of paper as a stand-in for someone who may be a target of a spiritual attack, and completely, save that person.
The son of the naked Bigfoot. I don't know why I keep doing that voice.
Dad had a ritual for couples that were not able to conceive a child. Dad imbued them, had them possessed by fertility spirits as they had sex. And that's another thing. Can it? Let's here's one thing I've wondered, and this does technically kind of dip into the alien side of things, but think about it. If spirits are in fact forms of energy, and that energy can implant itself in DNA, right? Think about it. Could it be possible that if someone was possessed and they start having sex and it actually conceives a child, would that child be genetically related to the ghost?
Well, no, because the ghost is no get form. It's only get form when it possesses that person.
Now think about it. Several reincarnation cases, right? If there's actually a physical resemblance, and if you go back far enough, in some of those cases, they're actually genetic cousins. The person who died and the person who thinks that they're that person is reincarnated. They say, like, people who are doppelgangers may actually be distant cousins. They just way far back. And if
that's kind of getting in the road
DNA, if light can actually mess up DNA, which we know it can, could it be possible for that child to be technically related to the spirit? Because it is technically possible for a child to have more than one parent.
Now, there you go. There's Pete answering you back.
Oh, dear Lord. I don't know.
You may as well do that. Come on, you've got to do that.
All right. Son of the Naked Bigfoot comments. This is for the people on the podcast side of things looking to get scarred for life. They stopped being themselves and were totally primal and animalistic. Dad had me as a witness / assistant. I don't want to know how he had you being an assistant to this.
This is
To
not
the
like Harry Potter,
ceremony.
ladies and gentlemen. This
It
isn't
was
like Harry Potter.
interesting and violent.
I'm going to tell you now. Please go to Mike the Naked Bigfoot's channel and watch Sex and the Paranormal because he explains it. Right, there is a bit of joking and stuff in that, right? Because that's what he was just like. But because everybody in the chat, we were on the chat at the same time.
You were the
it,
one
right?
that was instigating it the most for.
Come on, I like Mike. The two of us got on great. Now, honestly, if you want to learn more about the voodoo and the hoodoo faith and stuff like that and that kind of stuff, go and watch that video. It's a funny video at the start, but it does get quite serious, and he tells you, he gets right into it, and just bear this in mind, it is quite adulty, right? Do not allow anyone under the age of 18 to watch it, right? Because it is quite, it's quite intense, I must admit, but it's interesting. I must say that.
I was there to help make sure no one suffered a permanent injury or died. Well, there are some sex shops that have that kind of person.
How do you permanent injury? Is that? Can you explain that there, Pete?
Well, there are actually several reports, and this is from hospital nurses I know, where certain people try to do moves with someone who's younger, and they've actually dislocated limbs. They've had some tearing when they got a little too rough. Things got a little sucked in from the tailpipe. If you get what I mean. Plenty of that. And there's also the funnier cases where the male, usually much older, had a heart attack while having sex with his younger companion. And needless to say, the paramedics usually find them with a smile on their face.
It's so interesting you say that because Neil Story has got a book, The Little Book of Death.
Oh, yeah.
And in it, there's, I wished I could send this book to you, Pete. You got like a post office near you. Contact me on Twitter and I could send you this. Send you a book. I was going to get 2 copies. I've got 2 copies there. I've got one for Jenna and I've got one for you. But anyway,
the little book you're talking about,
the little
Viagra.
book. And he got in the early 80s, 90s. There was like a thing you could get put inside your thing. You know,
pacemaker.
Yeah, no, your pacemaker, your thing. You know right now.
Just say it.
Yes. So he got to Anne, and he got so excited that something went drastically wrong and exploded.
I thought that was the Viagra overdose.
That was it was a built-in Viagra. That's what it was. It's a built-in Viagra. It gives you a certain amount, but it gave it the whole lot.
Oh dear Lord, Pete.
The most interesting part of it. On you go. I'll put you off.
Oh.
When you go, come on, everyone in the podcast world. We're waiting for.
Okay, that's a little dark, but this is Mike we're talking about. Son of the Naked Bigfoot follows up from his earlier remarks. The most interesting part of it is that the woman did become pregnant with twins. One was stillborn. That was the price they had to pay to have a healthy child.
That's interesting.
That's another thing. You got to be very careful when it comes to that type of magic because there's always a price to pay.
I've heard that. I mean, I've heard Mike did do like sacrificial things to do with horses and stuff like that. And what's that? My sister-in-law is a nurse at A&E, and someone came in with a police button up his butt. How the hell did that happen?
Was he with a cop?
If you see that's going back to the sex shop, right? I mean, imagine you possessed a doll or a dildo. Right, imagine Dakota just imagine this: you get into a sex shop, you're in there for your pink fluffy handcuffs and all that, right? And you take a hemorrhage and you die and you possess a dildo, and then maybe this guy comes in looking for like a dildo or something like that and picks it up. I mean, can you imagine the torment that must do to your soul?
Did you just hear that?
No, what was that?
No, as you were going on about it, it sounded like a woman blushing. Like it's like, oh, did anybody else just hear that?
Isn't it from my end? I've had a lot of spirits run about me lately. I felt them. I don't mean in that sense, but I've had a lot of them. But I have had a lot of spirits run about me lately.
I know you're lonely, Chris. It's okay.
It's okay. They visit me in the night. It's absolutely fine. He had surgery to remove it.
Yeah, that happens.
How did they get up there? The kind of graphic, kind of like.
Well, you use the handle like that, like that, and you just go like this.
Yeah.
Well, you do realize there is a scientific reason behind that, right?
You reckon
Why
that
people
the
have an
American
obsession.
police buttons are different for the UK police buttons, didn't you?
Yeah. Anyway,
yours are telescopic.
Yeah, I have one. Not that it goes out there, but yeah. See, Lulu just said she heard a noise. She heard a noose, but someone playing bad cop. Trust me. If someone goes on a ride along a little too much with the same cop, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, as he would say. Whoa.
What?
Dude, there was just a shadow that just blocked part of your alien neon sign.
Really?
Yeah.
I tell you, I've got a lot of spirits running about me there. There's loads of them running about me. Loads of them.
I think they're wanting to hear a little something. Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, if you any visitors here, can you hear me?
But anyway, you do know the scientific reason behind that, right?
Pete's in the chat.
Why they say that a lot of people tend to have an obsession with shoving things up their ass.
Yeah. Oh,
the male equivalent of the G spots up there.
Really? I didn't ken that.
Yeah.
There's Pete got something. You have to read it out for everybody.
I know you
need
the
boss
read
and all.
Out.
No, you're the boss. You're
no,
the
no, come on. No, come on.
No, stay.
No, come on. Don't be such a pussy.
I insist. Come on, boss man.
You're incest?
Aye, well, everybody's into that. Come on, you go read it.
The fuck?
I'm going to hell for a long time. I'll see you there, Pete.
Now, I will elaborate for those who may not know that there is a type of spiritual phenomenon known as a fetish. It is not the same thing as a sexual kink. It is very different. Some of the naked Bigfoot, right? Some of Dad's fetishes he made are imbued with raw, primal, atavistic, I don't think I pronounced that right, sexual energy. I keep those locked up. They will influence anyone close to them. Hello.
I can see Pete going out for the night, right? Going out in the town, putting medallions on and all that, hanging them off.
Let him out for Valentine's Day.
I let you out for Valentine's Day, you know. What's that? Straight up, long as it get. Oh my God, knowledge man. Fetish is a doll.
Yeah.
There you go. But see what I'm trying to say is, right, see if that thing's possessed, right, and that's your eternal soul that's possessing that item. That must be horrible. Look, you're trapped in that item. Yeah, I mean, for no eternity until you're released for that item.
Well, in theory, they say only. Did you know? In theory, this actually presents an interesting little dilemma, I guess would be the term for it. Do you know they say silicone could technically support life?
Really?
And what are a lot of sex products made out of?
Silicone, well, you get breast implants, didn't you?
Yeah. Trust me, I have a story about breast implants, but it's
For a
nothing
second
really
there, I thought you were
paranormal.
going to say, "Trust me, I've got a set of breast implants."
No, I have a story about breast implants, but I don't think that
So they
that's
are. So they are.
that.
I've heard the one too.
But that, but that's story for another time. It's not really paranormal
As
related.
that
It's
is
actually
the part of
it's
Mike.
a very sad, it's a very sad story. Yeah, on our friend.
But look, tomorrow night, guys, we're going to get into the incubus and succubus, right? And Jenny from Emerald Isles Paranormal is going to join us, and it should be interesting if we can get our microphone to work, because obviously this music.
Jenny has been having a lot of issues with this, haven't she?
Yeah, and I'm having issues with StreamYard, which is strange. Demon see this is interesting. As demon possessed strap on Hellfire Pig.
But in America, people do marry spirits and ghosts, and there's a show on telling, and she said it's the best sex she's ever had. That's another weird thing, though, when it comes to this. Something I was going to try to get, but Christy rails it as fucking usual.
What?
Anybody who goes to claim they've had sex with the spirit claims that it's the best sex they've ever had.
Well, it's out of body experience.
And I'm just like, clearly you're not going for quality partners there, Kesha.
Well, see, this is an interesting fact. Let's jump on to a wee bit of the religious beliefs, right? Jesus' mother. Well, she was meant to become pregnant. How? It was immaculate conception, wasn't it? But here, what happens if it wasn't immaculate conception? What happens if it was a ghost that got her pregnant? You see where I'm going with this? See, you're going to
the statistical odds of a human virgin birth. They say it is technically possible, but it is like 1 in a number that would break most calculators. Type of odds. They say it's impossible, but who the hell knows anymore?
Look, today with like Jesus and Magdalene and all that kind of stuff, I think, to be honest with you, I do think that Jesus' mother did have a husband, and I think that's just made up to,
or
your suckers on,
Well, here's the thing. You got to realize humans suck when it comes to recalling information that we don't physically write down. Human psychology has been the same for the last several thousand years, hardly really changed. Who knows that there wasn't something that happened, but people severely misunderstood the concept. That there maybe there was an implanted baby. You don't kind of want to go into alien side of things, but it wasn't. But they didn't exactly understand how that worked, so that's how that came about.
See, that's what I find interesting. I mean, you talk about Jesus' birth and stuff like that, and they talk about the angels that come down and the light for them and that. What happens if they weren't actually spiritual? What happens if they were extraterrestrial? And they maybe picked her, made her pregnant, she had the kid, and then that was them coming down to check on them.
Well, there's actually several individuals, and Nikola Tesla is actually noted in declassified government documents as being an extraterrestrial who was dropped off. And they would have regular visits by ETs just to check in on them.
Yeah. Because
one gentleman I would love to get a hold of, but we'll see where that goes.
There's an interesting one for Son of the Naked Bigfoot. What's that? They're not having the physical sex between spirits, which makes me wonder about paranormal. What's that? Versatile disease like supernatural crabs and ghost herpes.
Well, there's also been cases like that one Amanda chick that married the 300-year-old ghost and divorced it because he kept disappearing. She did say that she constantly felt drained afterwards.
See, that's interesting.
I was about to say, that's kind of going the wrong way, don't you think?
We need to try and get somebody like that on the show.
I've been working on a few angles, but like I said, I've been aiming for high-profile individuals, and they tend to get busy.
Hmm.
They're open to showing up on podcasts, but
So tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the incubus, the succubus, and we're going to get more into the kind of extraterrestrial, because there has been cases out there where people have experienced horrific experiences
and there's
with the
exactly there's been cases where women would suddenly get pregnant seemingly out of nowhere. Most cases that would be pursued as a possible case of sexual assault. A lot of psychological things that come up, but then all of a sudden they go into like ultrasounds for like their regular appointments just to check up. Everything looks fine. All of a sudden they go into their ultrasound. It's not that the baby's dead; it's the baby's missing.
See, it's like right, I'm going to bring up a subject here, like Mothman. Where did Mothman come from? Obviously, at one point, if it is a real creature, it must have been born into the world, right? So was it an extraterrestrial visiting that had its way with a human woman, and then that happened? You see where I'm going with this kind of stuff? The Mothman's actually an interesting one. I mean, there's been quite a few sightings.
MUFON actually acknowledges Mothman as a possible extraterrestrial species, as because there have been several abductees who claim they've seen beings that match Mothman's description, which automatically insinuates there's more than one.
Yeah.
Mothman is the child of Bigfoot and Hillary Clinton. Pete, you're going to end up with a sniper bullet between your eyes talking like that.
Hey, Pete, soon there'll be a new US president. Soon you should run, man. We'll vote for you. Well, you will. I can't. I'm no US citizen.
Hey, I'm still hoping for Kennedy, man.
I don't think it'll be him, man. Honestly,
I don't know.
I mean,
when his uncle went running for office, he did the equivalent of what Robert Kennedy's doing now. He went straight to the people.
see, I just think the world's a tinder pot right now, and your president being a brother and a date isn't helping things. You know, talking about this is nothing today paranormal because we've only got a couple minutes before the end of the show ends. Did you check out the show between Vladimir Putin?
Tucker Carlson.
Did you watch it? Because it was
I've
very
seen bits and
interesting.
pieces. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I honestly don't know what's going to happen in the world. But we need to stop fighting with each other and we need to start working with each other. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow night because we're getting into the kind of demonic possession, the demonic incubus and succubus. I mean, has there ever been a case where an incubus and a succubus has visited the person at the same time? But that's for tomorrow.
Well, there's people who claim that they've been summoning these things purposely just so they can get laid.
Do you see what Pete's put? It's another good one. Son of the naked Bigfoot, I am so frustrated with the election choices. Makes me want to break out Dad's gear and do some chanting. I tell you if it helped, Pete.
Here's the thing. The United States election system is purposely rigged in order to make it seem like you only have two party choices, but you never have.
But actually, you've got me on.
And that's what Robert Kennedy is trying to bring attention to. Is that yes, you don't have to be struck down to the lesser of two evils type situation. Mm-hmm. But that's a story for another time.
That is a story for another time. No, guys, after this show, guys, I want you to go and wait. I'll go and find it. I'll post it in the chat for you. Just give us a sec. I'll Mike Naked Bigfoot. I want you to go and watch this. And this is see if you can get it before me. The quote I Mike the Naked Bigfoot. There he's there. Your channel. That's
look at that.
Naked Bigfoot.
Oh, hey, it just brought up as the first video that you recommended.
Really? So can you post that in the chat for everybody?
Just
go and check out Mike the Naked Bigfoot's Sex and the Paranormal. Trust me, it starts off funny and stuff like that, right? but it does get quite serious. And it's an eye-opener. And you'll probably... Because when Mike was talking about it, he says there was other people there. And obviously, we know now that Pete was one of the people there. And you want to listen to it because it's quite interesting, as one would do. So it's a good Saturday night filler, you know, lie in your bed. And...
You know, and if you're one of us Americans who don't really give a shit about football, you know, it gives you something to distract you for tomorrow. Because you just know that it's going to be nothing but football and Taylor Swift tomorrow.
But it's a Super Bowl. Why do you call it football when it's not actually a ball that you use?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Football.
Besides, you know, just because I'm a big guy doesn't mean I'm interested in sports, much to the disappointment of several high school and college coaches.
You ever seen the film The Water Boy? Bobby,
yeah.
Football.
Yeah, but you know, my mama said that is because they don't have no good dad.
I would need to put that up for Sunday. Repeat. Taylor Swift is a succubus. There you go. That's a cool voice for you, just for you, Pete.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the views sometimes expressed on this show are solely of the guests and of the host and do not necessarily reflect the company Bald and Bonkers Network LLC as a whole. I feel like I'm going to have to start putting that disclaimer in the intros again.
It's fine. I mean, it's not as if she actually is a succubus. But
she
then
is
you
blonde.
The Illuminati. And you're doing the Illuminati road and all that, and they're doing all their weird kind of like chanting and all that kind of stuff. Homsia. You know, Pete marching about with his clogs on. You know.
Yeah.
Out in the mountains. You know, was it a very warish succubus?
Oh shit, Lulu. Sorry.
What's that? Nice, Mike, man. It was I'm not reading it, but I'll let everybody else read it.
It's a joke, Louise. It's a joke.
It's a joke. See, you can't be that bad to sing away with that person that we're just talking about. I don't listen to that kind of music anyway. I listen to more classic stuff.
It's just I would much rather see, you know, my sisters look up to someone like Taylor Swift as compared to, you know, like Nicki Minaj.
I'm not really into that kind of pop culture. That's that kind of pop music, kind of folk jumping about and all that kind
Taylor
of stuff.
Swift, who's well known about going about women's rights and all that, whereas Nicki Minaj just prefers to sing about wet ass pussy.
If you would like to hear more about Taylor Swift, please visit Son of the Naked Bookfoot. Do we have his location? Do you have an address where people can write to you and people can like ask you questions, political questions, and maybe other questions about things like this?
Pete just admitted that he's a donkey. Anyway, we're going way out the rails.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, join us tomorrow night for Succubus and Incubus with Jenny from Emerald Isles.
And we'll prepare a candlelight dinner for Christopher and Jenny tomorrow night as they talk about Incubus.
The Succubus. There's nothing wrong with the Succubus. There's nothing wrong with... Look, I'll even put my hat on the night too. That's terrible. Look, fucking...